Whether you have a few hours or a few days, a road trip is always a great summer vacation idea. So here with the best Canadian routes for scenery, landmarks, fun pit stops, editor-in-chief of Travel&Style magazine, Jennifer Weatherhead-Harrington. Welcome.
Thank you.
This is a huge debate. We're going to go east to west. We're going to hit every one you've picked.
Yes.
I know what you're starting with in the east, Cabot Trail. Beautiful.
Yes, it's probably one of the most beautiful routes that you can take in the Atlantic provinces.
What's the best part about it for people who haven't driven it or been on it?
It's all of those gorgeous rolling hills, the rugged coastline. You get to travel through the Cape Breton Highlands National Park, which is stunning. So much hiking, so many photo opportunities, and just a relaxing place to be.
And it's not exactly jammed with traffic, although if the weather is nice, it might be. Let's move let's move west. We're already in the east. We're going to go to Quebec. What's your recommendation on Quebec?
I recommend taking a trip back through time and traveling along the King's Road. So this is the road that actually connects Montreal to Quebec City. And it used to be the road that the stagecoaches would actually take.
Oh, really?
So you'll be actually passing by Trois-Rivières when you go through there. So you can stop and spend a night there if you do. I recommend staying at the Auberge Hotel. A little bit luxe, but worth it for one night. And it's a great spot to get your foodie fix. There's so much Quebecois food there.
And for a lot of people in the other parts of the country, Quebec, Montreal and Quebec City are top of mind, but in between, especially in the summer, just beautiful stuff.
It's beautiful scenery. You can't go wrong. The food, the breweries, it's just amazing.
Nothing wrong with food and breweries in the summer, right?
Nope.
Especially. Let's go to Ontario. And lots of lakes and lots of places to choose from as well.
Yes, and one that's not too far from Toronto is actually to do the loop around Georgian Bay. So I think most Torontonians are familiar with Wasaga Beach. So spend a couple of days there, get some sun and sand, and then head up to Parry Sound, where you can take in all of those beautiful islands, and then head over to Flowerpot Island. So this blew my mind when I first saw it, because it looks like it's straight from the Mediterranean. It doesn't even look like it's in Canada. Beautiful water.
It's one of these tucked away places, right?
Yeah, it's a real gem.
And we're seeing some of the pictures here. Look at this. This is just...
And if you wanted to stay in one of these gorgeous cottages, it's a great idea for people who are doing sort of a group or family trip. You can rent out a bigger cottage at Lakes of Wasaga.
When you do this, you're going to drive through the prairie provinces. We are not skipping Manitoba and Saskatchewan. Beautiful big sky country there. But if you happen to go through there and land in Alberta, what's the choice in Alberta?
You're going to want to make sure that you do the Icefield Parkway. So this takes you straight from Banff through Lake Louise and then up to Jasper. It's one of the most beautiful drives in the country, if not the world.
It is.
You get to see gorgeous Rockies, glaciers. You're going to see all those beautiful aquamarine lakes.
Three Sisters. There's Lake Louise, Three Sisters in Canmore. And also, when you're doing this drive, you can get off the beaten path, you can do some hiking, and not necessarily just on the Trans-Canada or just on the main highway, right?
No. There are so many photo opportunities. You're going to be stopping all the time. So you want to make sure you give yourself a few days. And if you're looking for places to stay, I always recommend the Fairmont hotels. They're three of the most iconic hotels for that brand in Banff, Lake Louise, and then there's a beautiful cabin-like one in Jasper.
And they're gorgeous, and they are higher end. But there are also lots of other options in the national parks and in Banff Lake Louise area that are not as expensive, and you can do that as well.
Exactly.
In BC, people think about Vancouver, they think about Whistler, but there's another spot, the Okanagan, Penticton, Kelowna, Vernon. Why did you pick this route?
Well, this is an easy route because you can do it in 1 or 2 days, but it's also amazing if you're a wine lover. I mean, there's so much food and beautiful scenery, but also those amazing BC wines. So if you start in Vernon, head down to Kelowna, make sure that you stop by Kalamaka Lake so that we can get a photo, and then head down past Kelowna, and you can go on the Kettle Valley trails. There are trestle bridges, tunnels, lots of hiking, biking opportunities. The scenery is amazing. And then once you do all that adventure, you go even further south to Penticton, and you go to wineries like the Poplar Grove Winery. Beautiful sunsets, beautiful setting for you to sip on those wines.
And parts of BC, the very southern part of this area of BC, you're talking about some of the most distinct landscape we're going to see. It's desert in some cases. It's beautiful. Another recommendation further west. Are we going further west? We are.
West and north.
I'm sorry, north. Can't forget the territory. Yukon Territory up to Dawson and Tombstone Territorial Park.
Yeah, so this is definitely for the adventure seeker. So you're going to need about 10 days to do this because you're going from Whitehorse to Dawson City, and you're even going to cross over the Arctic Circle. So that's really amazing for bragging rights.
Anybody who's been to Yukon says it is a tremendous experience. Any other recommendations up in Yukon for accommodation, for things to do other than this? Look at this.
I mean, there's so many things that you can do in terms of biking and hiking and just taking in this beautiful scenery. Accommodations can be a little bit more rustic, so you're going to be looking at camping, cabins, different lodges. You can find some modern rooms, but for the most part, you're going to want to be making this a rustic kind of trip.
Nothing wrong with rustic in the Yukon. I mean, look at that. Who needs a nice hotel room or whatever when you've got a tent?
Just be in nature.
You've got that. Beautiful.
Yeah.
This has been fabulous. Thanks so much, and get on the road, and we appreciate you doing this. Thanks so much. Those are some ambitious trips. For more information, you can head over to yourmorning.ca, and we will be right back. Stay with us.